Hey everybody, welcome back to X-Plane 11. I am Bill, and we're on PilotEdge tonight, which is my preferred online air traffic control. We'll do some flights here, but the real the goal for this stream and for these flights that I've picked are things that are a little bit cruisy, so nothing too short. Not necessarily too long, because I do kind of want to land and fly and everything. But I wanted to go over some of this book, which is the Private Pilot Oral Exam Guide. I don't know if you can see that. It's not really focused really good. This is the ASA version of the book. I'm sure there are many other ones out there. It seems to be great. I actually kind of wish I would have started with this, like even before I started flying, because it kind of does a good job of giving you high-level questions and answers instead of kind of getting into a concept. And, you know, in the books and the reading material, it's kind of hard to pick out things that are important or things that are kind of ancillary information for whatever topic they're discussing. So this is just like full on, you know, what is blank? What does this do? Like here, I mean, here's one. How does aircraft cabin heat work? Fresh air heated by an exhaust shroud is directed into the cabin through a series of ducts. Like, it doesn't get more simple, straight to the point than that, rather than going over, like, you know, paragraphs of, you know, interiors and cabin air filtration and all that crap. So what I thought I would do tonight is line up some flight sim economy jobs and hop on PilotEdge, fly around, and when we're en route, go over some questions. And I'm planning on just flipping through this and grabbing some questions in here. It's a little bit different than like some of the written prep stuff that we've done on the stream, where, you know, it was more A, B, or C kind of answers. These are slightly more topical in some cases, so just kind of depending on what question we land on will determine what type of question it is and how we answer it and talk about it. We might get through two and talk about you know, one of the questions for 40 minutes, or we might just like rip through them. So that is the plan, and we're in the Carenado F33A Bonanza with the rep pack and another beautiful livery done by Finbar. That is awesome. So we have PilotEdge logo, my little homemade logo, which if you can't tell, I made that myself. Ferrari logo and Alfa Romeo. So thank you, Finbar, again for that. And then on the tail is the Orange County seal, which I think Finbar found the Orange County seal before I knew that existed. Let's get the thing started first, and then we can get the flight plan going. You can see that I have ForeFlight open there, which I will put in a little flight plan. We're going to Santa Barbara on our first leg here. I may have actually killed the battery on this, because I noticed that all of my cylinder, that's not good. I had my master battery switch on. I know, that looks like it didn't. ADF receivers failed. This rep pack is a little goofy sometimes, so I don't know why the randomness there. All right, so let's start this Bonanza up, which I think I've found the right flow to do this. Joe, how's it going? Oh yes, and Simulated Flyer, hello. I don't think I said hi to you. Ryan, Finbar, Iowa. I think that's everyone who said something. HUD Boy. So anyone else that's hanging out, hello. Happy Monday. Okay, master and alternator coming on, beacon on. Mixture is full rich. Throttle is kind of high, halfway about. Fuel pump for 6 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, fuel pump coming off. And let's set the parking brake there. And crank it on. Let's see. Come on. And it's alive. Great. I'm okay for a Monday. Chicken sandwiches for dinner sounds like a fantastic idea, man. That is... The sandwich is one of my favorite foods. Alright, let's lean this thing for our ground operations. And let's move up. Got the avionics coming on. And let's put on our ground lights as well. Just taxi and landing lights. We don't need anything else. As far as we're concerned, here it is daytime. Your time of day will vary. For Finbar, it is almost 3 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to come right up to the discoloration here and stop. It's pretty quiet so far.
Orange left, 20 right. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures, contact, clearance, delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information hotel.
How do you like how departure? Over to departure, 5000
Wayne Airport,
Information
8
hotel.
Information Hotel. 0053 Zulu. Wind variable at 5. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 2,700. Temperature 21. Dew point 13. Altimeter 299 Arriving at departing runway 0 left. 20 right.
So let's go here and make that 2990. That is field elevation. Now let's get clearance so we can get out of here on our nice... Let's go coastal route, northbound. We have the speed and the power to get up there because we're Bonanza. 28.8. Okay. So we're going to be up at 6,500. Johnny clearance. Nope,
4
nope.
T, Sierra Alpha Conference.
Nope, that was ground. It's so weird being in here in the sim. Been at the airport like all weekend, and it's just weird coming back here every time because this is just exactly how it looks. Like looking over at the tower, it's hilarious. Johnny clearance. Good evening, Bonanza 204 Lima Echo VFR departure request. What's up, Shadow Driver? Diver.
442 Sierra Alpha Squawk 3505.
Shadow Diver.
Mojave Towers, Cessna 73 Delta Tango, exiting runway.
We're 738 Delta Tango, taxi to parking. Via Alpha.
Taxi to parking via Alpha. Central City.
Call request SAG.
Hey, Johnny clearance. Bonanza 204 Lima Echo with VFR departure request. That probably counted as my cold call, but...
Bonanza 204 Lima Echo, John clearance. What's your model Bonanza and request?
We're a BE-33 slant Gulf. We'd like flight following to Santa Barbara at 6,500 via the coastal route. 204 Lima Echo. So what's going to be our departure?
204 Lima Echo. After departure, fly heading 240. Maintain VFR at below 2,400.
Those two around.
So advised. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 2704.
2704. 2704. Yeah, I was thinking of the orange departure. On departure, that's right heading 240, at or below 2,400 feet, departure frequency 128.1, squawk 2704, 204 Lima Echo.
4204 Lima Echo, back correct.
Alright, so that's 2,
908 Charlie Tango,
7,
right, downwind midfield, runway 24.
4. There we go.
Great,
That's
try Tango, right,
on
24,
alt mode. Cool.
24,
Yeah, that's the wrong
Tango.
departure. We're gonna be up over here to 40, and that was all we need. That was all we need. Okay. So then we're on to ground, and then we'll get tower in there ready to go. Okay, really quick before we depart, I'm gonna just pull up. I don't need that. I need everything. How do I go to everything? I forgot. I forget to use this stupid thing. No, don't delete that. Oh, I forgot. There we go. Okay. So I want the tax supplement, which is here, and I want the coastal route, which is here. Okay, so it's the 123 radial to the LAX VOR, and then the 323 outbound of LAX. And that is 13.6, so we go to our nav 1 here, which is that where it says 111 right there, if you can see that. And this is going to be 113.6. I'll put that in there. And then this is going to be on the 132 reciprocal. So 132 is right there. Right about there. That is all I got to do. Joey Ground, Bonanza 204 Lima Echo, ACI West taxi to tower run up.
Seminole 4420 Sierra Alpha radar contact 6 miles southeast of Queen and Mary.
It's just just every time it's totally silent, and then as soon as I say something. Shadow Diver, it's not bad at all, man. And the benefit is you're never going to be scared of any type of airspace. Joey Ground, Bonanza 204 Lima Echo, ACI West taxi tower run up.
204 Lima Echo, Joey Ground, taxi tower run up by Bravo.
Tower run up, Bravo 4 Lima Echo.
R44T Sierra Alpha, turn left heading 060, vectors ILS 2305 approach.
So prepping for this check ride has been a lot of fun. Brad and I started. We did basically half of a mock oral. Let's all be adults with how that sounds. We did a practice oral exam, and I had a blast. It went for about 2 hours, and we didn't even make it past the cross-country planning portion of it. And he was like, dude, this is way more thorough and in-depth than anyone will ever realistically see on a check ride. And I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. I learned stuff. I mean, the point of it was to learn, so it wasn't really, like you need to know this or we're going to not continue kind of stuff, obviously. But it was still super educational for me.
I was calling for taxi. Your call sign came up.
Sorry.
Pepper 98 Charlie Tango.
But it was a lot of fun, and it made me feel a little bit more relaxed about the check ride because just because it's fun. Like, it just sounds fun. And to do that with somebody else, I think, will be kind of fun, and it just made me a little bit more excited because I wasn't as just more relaxed going into it, if that's really what it is. As much as I want a 150, the one in wing swap is 27. Dude, I know with the little Garmin
78
thing.
Delta Tango. Just wanted to check on the status of my rating. Just because of chip right now. Please.
Seminole 20 Alpha,
This guy's
left heading
audio's
330.
low. Ready to go, tower? Actually, I didn't even do my flight
153
plan.
Mike Sierra, Carenado, call approach
So
135.4.
there's that. Straight line. This is going to be a very quick flight plan here. I'm going to... Where's the nav? I just want the LAX viewer. There it is. And it's roughly this.
I'll give you a pass on the rating. However, one very important thing
And
that you need to
it's-
understand is that I need you to pay close attention to the radio transmissions from the controller and make sure that you pay close attention to what they say, because I had to repeat transmissions multiple times. I want to make sure that you get
Okay,
the first
so that's
time.
good. We can get rid of that for now. Johnny Ground, Bonanza 204 Lima Echo, continue.
204 Lima Echo, runway 20 right, taxi up Bravo Kilo.
Bravo Kilo 20 right for Lima Echo.
For 4420 Alpha.
And for those of you that
3 miles from Gunny, turn
have done one or more check rides,
maintain 1,600 till established
you know,
local hazard cleared.
let us know what you thought of it. If it was harder than you thought, easier than you thought, fun, painful, easy, hard, exhilarating, terrifying. Opinions will vary on that, Ryan, but I've heard that it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours max. But again, opinions may vary. I mean, I heard a horror story of someone who was 6 hours long or something stupid. I think it depends on how prepared you seem coming into it. But an hour and a half to cover everything. Brad and I went over cross-country planning for 2 hours, and I was like just ready to keep going. It didn't seem like it took that long. Like, we blew through it. And keeping in mind that we need cross-country planning, weather,
approaching runway 20
all
right.
the airplane stuff, maintenance records, all that stuff need to be covered. So you're really going through a lot of stuff quickly, if you're able to. So I think that really just depends on what you're doing. Okay, so let's go to tower and let's
4420 Alpha, you're going west on the
get
approach, correct?
approach dialed in here, 28.1 ready to go. So we've got 28.1 in standby. We got tower 26.8 ready to go. I've got 113.6 was the LAX VOR, and that's ready to go. Once we get airborne, that nav flag should go away. Let's just make sure that we are on nav and not GPS. Okay. And let's get ready to do it. Joey Tower, Bonanza 204 Lima Echo, holding short 20 right at Kilo.
Bonanza 20 Pond Lima Echo, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 at Kilo, clear for takeoff, wind the variable at 5.
Clear for takeoff 20 right at Kilo, 204 Lima Echo.
Long Beach Tower, Seminole 4420 Alpha, inbound, ILS runway 30, practice approach with the mate.
Seminole 4420 Alpha, Long Beach Tower.
Okay, lights,
Wind, 200 at 8. Can you report going west?
camera.
Royal, we'll call
Action.
4420 Alpha.
What's up, eyes? Cutting this corner a little tight for no real reason. Alright, there's full power. Oh, crap. Okay, why is my RPM stuck? And Joey Tower, 204 Lima Echo, we aborted that takeoff. We're taxiing back.
Number 204 Lima Echo, going back to the runway or to the ramp?
Back to the runway is fine, 204 Lima Echo.
For the Echo, runway 20 right, taxi Bravo Kilo.
Bravo Kilo 20 right, 4 Lima Echo. That is a an FSE Bravo. Whoops. Okay, there's our passengers for Santa Barbara.
135.5.
But you know what? That was a good a good practice of an aborted takeoff. What's up, Admiral Entropy? Slinzer, how's it going? That was funny. Could you? I never remember because I fly FS Economy so infrequently. I never remember if you can start that in the air or not. Have you? Wild? Okay. All right. Well, I'll remember that for next time. But regardless, it was good practice.
Total 224, section 442, Sierra Alpha.
Just like whoops. Within a mile of the airport. Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep that in mind for next time. It started now though, and we got some excitement already. Abort! After takeoff too. Ooh. That'll make you sweat a little bit. Yikes. Jetwing Tower Bonanza 204 Lima Echo has our flight sim economy flight ready to go now. Ready to go 20 right at Kilo.
Bonanza 204 Lima Echo. Runway 20 right at Kilo. Clear for takeoff when variable at 5. I've done that myself.
Clear for takeoff 20 right at Kilo at 204 Lima Echo.
Entered runway 20 right. 5,300 feet remaining.
Thank you. Yeah, the passengers are running out of Lion Air Museum. Wait for us! Okay. So everything is in the green now. Full power. We're probably heavy. Hopping a wheelie. Drifting to the left. Okay. Positive rate. Here's coming up. Props coming back. And we're turning out to 240, I think we had bug. What's up, Ro? Hey, Jeff. You have a date set for the check ride? Not yet. No, I'm still working through the oral prep. The good thing and bad thing, I guess, is I'm not really in a rush. You know, I don't have any deadline, so being completely prepared so it's as easy as possible for me is kind of the real goal. The other side of that too is just scheduling. You know, Brad's availability, my availability. Departure 204 Lima Echo.
For 442 Sierra Alpha contact, Chicago approach 128.1.
Jeff, did I say hello to you? Yeah. I think I did. Hi, Jeff. SoCal approach, Bonanza 204 Lima Echo, 900 climbing restricted 2,400.
November 204 Lima Echo. SoCal departure. Cancel altitude restriction. Reasonable navigation. And remain outside the Bravo airspace. I'll have a clearance for you momentarily.
Okay, resuming ONAV and altitudes, and we'll be waiting for that Bravo clearance, 204 Lima Echo. Cool. So Brad cruise climbs this thing at between 110 and 120 with the 300 horsepower guy. So this one definitely does not have 300 horsepower. So we're gonna be. This seems like it's okay. I mean, we're 600-700 feet per minute. And holding 90 knots, which is pretty good. So
we'd like to request vectors to practice ILS into Long Beach with the...
Yeah, it's pretty full, I think.
Seminole 442 Sierra Alpha, lookout departure to contact, turn left heading 120, vectors to final, maintain 2000.
This is pretty anemic climb performance.
120 vectors to final, maintain 2000 for 420 Alpha.
So I'm gonna keep going on this heading basically until we reach the shoreline. That's typically what they'll have you do, is turn off at the shore. Going nav from here, cutting across Huntington Beach doesn't really happen too often. You got Los Alamitos out there as well, which usually doesn't have too much action, but they like to get you out to the coast. This thing does climb like a pig though right now. So with the rep weight and balance, 215 in both front seats and 20 gallons in each tank, I climb at 100 knots and almost 1,000 feet. Yeah, we're climbing, we're at 100 right now, but I mean, I think it's bleeding off airspeed right now as the climb approaches 1,000. There's also that that upgraded, I think it's intake and exhaust that you can do now in the rep pack, and I don't know if I have that enabled or not. That gives you a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I've touched that. I'm pretty sure I did on the 172, but I don't think I have on this. And that's gonna make a pretty big difference too. Spiffy T, thank you for following. I don't know if why that notification got hung up on screen, but thank you for following. Welcome.
Negative contact 4420 Alpha.
You use the spark plug wires too. Yeah, that'll make a pretty big difference, I think, on this plane.
T04 Lima Echo. Traffic, 11 o'clock, 8 miles. Southeast bound, 2000 to Seminole.
Okay, we'll be looking out for that traffic, and we can hug the coastline here and give them room. 204 Lima Echo. He's coming right. He's headed right for us.
With X-ray was stepped on by multiple aircraft taken.
I see him on the ADSB. I think he is below me. Okay.
For 6 for the NR, probably engage San Luis ground, runway 29 taxi by Alpha.
Don't want to go on top of him really if you don't have to, but yeah, he's somewhere over in this area. If this was not a simulator, we could probably see him. I'm kind of fighting this thing a little bit. Let's pop up the old autopilot. AP engaged. Heading mode. And let's go. I guess altitude. Get it trimmed out, and then we'll turn off altitude and go up a couple clicks.
For T04 Lima Echo, climb to requested VFR altitude.
Okay, climbing up to 6,500, 204 Lima Echo.
55 Juliet, kind of 10 over approach, 120.55.
Drendon, what's happening? South Florida, welcome.
Santa Barbara approach, Robin 5055 Juliet, 6,500 with Romeo.
5055 Juliet, Santa Barbara approach, Santa Barbara altimeter 2991.
Freelander 901, 550.
Man, I made the wrong choice about this thing climbing. Giving ourselves some good power here. Pretty sweet looking plane. Here is our current situation. We're still climbing up.
70442 Sierra Alpha,
And
turn left heading
we're
360.
not making good time on that
Left
front.
360, 442 Sierra Alpha.
And we don't really have the airspeed to trade for altitude at the moment, so I'm going to turn to the left pretty sharp and give us more time to climb up. It's still moving. I mean, we're at 650 feet per minute right now, which is fine. I mean, the airspeed is kind of bleeding off, so that's not great. Let's put that down a couple clicks. That did anything. So now we're flying, I guess, more than perpendicular. But that is
70204 Lima Echo, contact SoCal approach 134.9.
349-204 Lima Echo. SoCal approach, good evening. Bonanza 204 Lima Echo, 5,200, trying to climb 6,500 for the northbound coastal route.
Bonanza 204 Lima Echo, SoCal approach, the LA altimeter 29901. Cleared through the LA Bravo airspace about coastal route, northbound, maintain 6,500 while inside the Bravo airspace.
Alright, cleared through the LA Class Bravo via the coastal route, 6,500 at 204 Lima Echo. You gotta put in trying, because this thing is hurting right now.
We're 6-9 Bravo Yankee.
What might be able to happen, we're far enough out from the Bravo, looks like 6.5 miles from the Bravo shelf that we need to fly into. If I keep climbing like this, I might be able to time it so we are hitting 6,500 turning into the Bravo, because we're almost intercepting the radial here. So this might be timed well. It's trimmed good. It's 75 knots, which is freaking slow. This is why you don't do the coastal route out of John Wayne. And the performance is just dropping like crazy. Slowly getting there, coming up to 6,000. What is the best rate of climb for that AC? What's AC what? Oh, for the F33. I have no idea. Something. I don't know.
70442 Sierra Alpha.
And I think I think I've got enough space to climb up.
Left 320, join localizer 4420.
Yeah, I don't know what the best climb is. This is a real flight sim flight where we have absolutely no idea what the performance
Santa Barbara approach 50552 has the report in sight.
But the A36 with 300 horse engine, best rate is 90. Torb says VY is
5055,
98
Juliet.
when
Bear
he
turn
flies
is
this.
terminated. Keep squawk code 10 at Santa Maria Tower.
That's pretty fast.
We'll keep our squawk and contact tower
I'm
550.
definitely not doing 90 in this thing. But we're almost to 6,500, and then we'll be able to speed up a little bit. So it's working out somewhat nicely. Right there. 96 is VY in the rep manual. Okay. Yeah, I'm either like leaned, like not leaned out enough, or something's wrong.
For 2 Sierra Alpha, 1 mile from Getty, maintain 1,600 till established, cleared for
That
the
seems like
Enterprise
it's
approach, maintain vehicle.
Off our course a little bit.
1,600 until established.
Yeah, it does seem like it is
Runway 30.
noticeably bad.
Practice approach 4420 Alpha.
But that's fine. I don't really need it to be super fast, but it is weird that it's not what it should be.
Juliet, Santa Maria Tower, enter right base, runway 30, report 3 miles out.
Brad is at the plane as we speak. RPM seems low. Why not 25 full power? Well, because I'm in cruise now, so I got the props pulled back, and we're in cruise. So now, let's head to the book. I am not on 11.4. No, we had... you would know if we were on 11.4, Piper. It's totally broken. Possibly Chinese. Happy Monday, man. All right, let's do random page, right? That sound good? So I'm just gonna flip through here and find a page and see if we can find a good question here. Random page for the oral exam. Oh, here's a good question. Because this kind of relates to some of the cars that I'm into. What are 2 main advantages of a dual ignition system? 2 advantages of a dual ignition system.
Pull up.
The Dark Diamond, thank you very much for following. Welcome. I am going to use my Flight Chop patch as a bookmarker. Okay, so Josh says if one fails, you have a backup. So that's a good one. Possibly Chinese says you get to turn the key twice. That's a really good one. What's up, Quasar? The new stream schedule is just a little bit earlier because of work, which I'm happy about. So, Josh, well, Admiral, yeah, I think you got it first. Redundancy is the first one. And then, Josh, you said it, if one fails, you got a backup. And then the other one, Ryan kind of got it. It is more efficiency. Redundancy and more complete burn. You got it. I know I've said it before, but Knurgarat? I'm gonna call you Rat. Rat got it. So yeah. Well, I mean, efficiency is fine. I would say that efficiency is pretty good. That's you're trying to get a complete burn of all the fuel. and a lot of older, well, not a, there's a line of Alfa Romeos that actually have twin spark plugs. I don't think they're separate ignition systems, but they are called twin sparks. And they like my car, my old little Alfa is technically a Hemi. It has a
126.7.
a 26.7204 Lima Echo.
For the Echo negative, different aircraft.
Sorry.
Let's go this time.
I'm trying to not like have him repeat, so that might happen more than once. But yeah, so the hemispherical head on my tiny little Italian car gives more space for the mixture to go, but at high RPM they found out that not all of it was getting burnt for the race engines, so they added the second spark plug in there to completely burn the fuel air mixture in there. So that was a good one. That's a pretty easy one, but also kind of fun. We're almost to our far. Oh, I don't have anything on there. There's no set up now. Tanks, thank you. Thank you. I want to get that $1,000 Garmin watch that buzzes every 15 minutes. And yes, Rat, ForeFlight does work with sims, absolutely. Yeah, and I've got ADS-B traffic too, so if someone's following me on PilotEdge, you'd be able to see what their situation is.
BMR traffic 11 o'clock in 4 miles northwestbound 10,400.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Looking through my sir.
For flight sim. Okay. Next question. ForeFlight is definitely the best.
5 Juliet runway 30 cleared line.
Next question. I'm gonna flip to the page because this is kind of like an awkward one. Okay. This is very timely considering what we're doing right now, which is talking to air traffic control.
128.1.
Okay, this is kind of, I guess this question was kind of, what frequencies are used for ground control? What frequencies are used for ground control?
SoCal Seminole 442.
Cessna, I don't have it scheduled yet,
500,
but
climbing
we're getting pretty close. We should have a 2-week lead time when I'm ready to go.
To Long Beach, full stop.
Okay, there's 3, 2,
For 442 Sierra Alpha approach, contact. Turn left heading 120, maintain.
Right, Ryan, but this is why I kind of was like hesitant on that question. What frequencies are used
120,
for ground
maintain
control?
VFR 1,600 for 420 Alpha.
This is a weird question. Let's see if anyone can get the exact. There is a specific answer to this, but it's only partially specific. But there would be a way to answer this correctly, and you guys are on the right track, kind of. Yeah, like for example, John Wayne is 20.8. Anybody? What frequencies are used for ground control? Techno Jerk. That is what I would. That would be my answer. It's whatever they say it is. And Ro got it. It is 121.6 through 121.9. Majority of the time. The majority of ground control frequencies are 121.6 to 121.9. So that's kind of a weird way to ask that question. But yeah, ground point niner. It's a weird question because The answer that I liked the most was whatever is published. What TechnoJerk said. Whatever it is. Yeah, whatever they listed it as. But knowing that ground is more than likely 121 point something. If you're told by a controller, which I've been told before, luckily it was with an instructor, I believe at the time, is, ground point 7 for taxi. I'm like, okay, what the hell does that mean? If you don't know what ground point something means, then that's just a complete... It's like, what the hell are you talking about? What is ground point something? And then you're told, like, okay, well, ground is usually 121. When they say ground, they mean 121. And see, look, Rat, there you go. I had never heard of that either until some point. But that is a thing. Ground point 6, to the ramp, whatever. So that's why this is good to be doing this. I freaking love it. All right, next one. Let's try to get one more towards the back of the book. Oh, these are... I don't like these. Okay, this one is called scenario-based training. This is number 1 for the first question under scenario-based training. I don't like this at all. Your good friend has requested you fly as a safety pilot in his retractable gear Piper Arrow while he practices flight by reference to instruments.
Caution, TFR ahead.
Which one? What do regulations require for you to be able to do this? Oh, there is a weird TFR. It's a fire TFR. Yeah, we're going to be outside of that. Okay. So, safety pilot, Piper Arrow. What do regulations require for you to be able to do this? And they've got a little parenthetical thing here. Your answers should include knowledge of safety pilot requirements, currency requirements to carry passengers, and the requirements for a complex endorsement. That's what their little, your answer should. At least private pilot in some cat and class. The ability to be PIC in the aircraft. Are we out of the Bravo? Yeah. We are out of the Bravo. Admiral, that is for flight.
Left 320 for 420.
Out of the Bravo.
Number 204, Echo, leaving the Bravo airspace. Contact SoCal approach on 134.2. Here's the one navigation.
Oh, was that 134.2?
That's affirmative.
Okay, 134.2, 204, then Echo, and resume an own nav. SoCal approach, Bonanza 204 Lima Echo 6,500.
204 Lima Echo, SoCal approach, recall altimeter 2901.
901 for Lima Echo. Okay, I think that should be pointing us in the right direction. Okay.
For 3 Mike Sierra, 5,000.
Yeah, it's super cool. I love having ForeFlight hooked up to the sim. Okay, here is the answer. I must meet safety pilot requirements, currency requirements to carry passengers, and the requirements for a complex endorsement, including to be a safety pilot, I must hold at least a private pilot certificate with single engine land. So I think, who said that? Possibly Chinese? Yep. At least private pilot. I must be endorsed to act as PIC in a complex airplane. Who said that? Rat said that. Good job. I must hold a valid medical certificate. I must have satisfactorily met the requirements of a flight review, and
Bravo, Yankee,
I must have logged at least 3
3031.
takeoff and landings in the preceding 90 days to carry passengers. So basically, be legal to fly the
442
plane.
Sierra Alpha, 4 miles from Gunny. Turn right heading
That
30,
is-
maintain 1,600 till establish
pretty
local
much it.
altitude, clear dial, last runway 30 back approach.
ForeFlight is great, but you need an iPad and pay a monthly fee. I use Flight Plan Go and has moving maps and is free and not quite as fancy. Yeah, Scampers, Flight Plan Go is fantastic. I use this in the real plane, so I had to get the iPad. I had to get the subscription to use it in the real plane. So hooking it up to the sim.
Hey, bird. Whoa, buddy.
Possibly Chinese, thank you very much for 10 months. Man, it's been that long. That's crazy. Possibly Chinese, thank you very much for the support. Legal to fly the plane if the guy was a passenger, pretty much. Yeah. So you gotta be legal. So let's see. I have a scenario. You take a 757 to LC line over on the runway. What do you say? Coming along. All right. Let's get another one in here. I don't like this. At the end of the chapter, they have like a bunch of like additional things to be a huge freaking nerd. All right. Let's see what's good on this page. This is kind of might be a tricky one, maybe not. Why is the generator alternator voltage output slightly higher than the battery voltage? Why is the alternator voltage output slightly
Clear
higher?
the airport truck clock in 15 miles. Airport sites for Max here. The Max here, clear the visual approach, runway 31 left, kind of
Sorry,
tower,
that was
1917. Alright, clear for the visual 31 left.
Admiral Entropy. Got it.
Tower 1914.
And Ryan got it. Yep, you guys got it. Ryan got it first. Yep, the difference in voltage keeps the battery charged. For example, a 12-volt battery would be supplied with 14 volts. Cool. Can I just bring you guys with me on my check ride? Can we do that? You guys just all want to come? 50? Holy shit, there's 50 people?
Sponsor time, 2153 Max here, visual 31 left.
Hello, Mr. DPE.
2153 Max here, positive
Don't
tower,
mind
31
the
left,
50 other
land,
people.
land is 32087.
Yeah,
Good
Tanner.
land, one
That
land,
would
Max
be that'd be pretty funny.
442 Sierra Long Beach Tower, 36.
How's the flight going? The flight is going fine, Shadow. Yeah. Yeah, it's only cheating if you get caught. Okay. I mean, I talk to you guys so much flying in the real world that you might as well be in the plane. Okay. Let's do another one. Here we go. It's not scheduled yet, Tanner. Working on getting to the point. We're looking at like a 2-week lead time, so by the time I am like ready to go, we'll schedule the check ride. Flight computers and basic calculations. Ew. No, we're not doing. Here's my basic calculations right here, Mr. Examiner. So, yeah. Get out of here with that crap. Get your E6B out. No. All right. Here's a good one. What effect does a rearward center of gravity have on an aircraft flight characteristics? So there's three things that they have highlighted. So what are the 3 effects on a rearward center of gravity? What are the requirements to use EFB? I don't think E6B. What's that? I don't think there are requirements other than just sufficient backup. Because I think what they recommend. But I mean, you should have paper charts and everything. You should have everything you need if you have no electronics. But I don't think there are any actual requirements. There's nothing that says like you need the latest iOS and a backup battery of more than whatever. I think it's just have backups. I think what it is. Okay, so the three characteristics, the three effects of rearward center of gravity. Pitch stability is one. Okay.
Reporting to anchor contact, want me to approach 124.7.
Less induced drag. Bad stall recovery. There's three of them.
Reporting to anchor contact, want me to approach 124.7.
24-7, 204 Lima Echo. Point Magoo, approach Bonanza 204 Lima Echo 6,500. I'm gonna get our ATIS first. Santa Barbara 32.
204 Lima Echo, Point Magoo approach, Point Magoo altimeter 2994.
94 for Lima Echo.
For T Sierra Alpha,
32,
26 left.
32, 65, 65.
2 Sierra Alpha, right, T6 right.
We're gonna pick up
X5
anything?
Kilo.
2.10,
Cross runway 30.
altimeter 29902, arriving runway 25, departing runways 15 left, 15 right, 25, or GPS runway 25 approach in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery, advise on course heading, altitude, this flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact that you have information uniform.
Uniform, okay. Alright, so the three characteristics of a rearward center of gravity, you guys pretty much were on the right track, but it's a lower stall speed. Rear CG means less downward lift needed for. Well, here I'll read off. They're pretty quick actually. Higher stall speed. Stalling angle of attack is reached at a higher speed due to increased wing loading. Okay. Slower cruise speed. This is not the right thing. This is the wrong one. Sorry. That was forward center of gravity. Okay. Rearward center of gravity is lower stall speed, less wing loading. Higher cruise speed, reduced drag, smaller angle of attack is required to maintain altitude, and less stable. Stall and spin recovery, more difficult. The center of gravity is closer to the center of pressure, causing longitudinal instability. So, I was going to say. Yeah, so lower stall speed, higher cruise speed, and less stable. And it's presumably all backwards for the forward center of gravity. So forward center of gravity, you have higher stall speed, you'd have slower cruise speed, but you'd be more stable. So that is why your CG being in check is important, because it will dictate a lot of those characteristics which you kind of want to have in balance. Because there is a lot of, it's like brake pads. Like, you can't have all three things. You can only have a combination of at least two. It's noise, stopping power, and durability. You can't have all three. It's either going to be noisy and it'll stop like crazy and it'll be durable, or it'll be quiet. Oh, brake dust, not durability, brake dust. It's noise, dust, and performance. So you can have a noisy, low dust, high performance brake pad. You can have a quiet, high dust, low performance. No one would want that one, but you get the point. You can't have all three at the same time. You can't have stability, high speed, and low stall speed. Yeah, you got to pick two. Yes, single coil. This is the ASA oral exam guide.
3 Mike Sierra, where you park?
Just remember, we got information uniform. Okay. Are you guys liking these? This is kind of fun. This is fun for me to go through this. I wish there was a better way to randomize this besides I'm just doing this. No, I'm not going to do that.
3 Mike Sierra, taxi.
That's like arms and moments and all that crap. We're not messing with that. That's a good idea. Okay, somebody give me a number between 1 and 9. First one I see. 6. Okay, MJ. MJ got 6. Okay, now somebody... Hang on. 6, okay. Okay, now somebody give me a number between 1 and 78. Perfect timing, MJ. 32. Okay, 632. This is a good way to do it. Okay, 32. Okay, 632. This is kind of a weird one, but I like this one. All right. So behind door number 6-32 is the question: when are parachutes required on board an aircraft? When are parachutes required on board an aircraft? There are... Well, let's see how you guys... Okay, so 60-degree bank. That is one. It says relative to the horizon, but that's kind of slightly nitpicky. Okay, Rat kind of has somewhat of the right idea. Aerobatics. Before you jump, that's pretty good. Air food bar, yeah, before you jump, preferably. When you plan on crashing, yeah. When you don't trust the pilot, that's a good one too. Let's see. When it's required equipment in the Cirrus, that's a good one. Okay, there is a numeric. There's another numeric reason that you're missing. But there's two. I would say there's real like 2 reasons, but there are within those there are 2 specific submarines. Single coil, got it. So it's 60-degree bank relative to the horizon, or nose up or nose down attitude of 30 degrees relative to the horizon. So 60 and 30, and you need to have a parachute. If the above regulation does not apply to flight tests for pilot certification or rating, or spins and other flight maneuvers required by regulations from any certificate or rating when given by a CFI or ATP instructions with accordance to 6167. So, yeah. I am notorious for 60-degree banks. Well, you better have a parachute. Should we look at the regulations on VFR weather minimums, or should we just skip that? Should we skip that chapter? As we fly just straight through these clouds. So that was good. That got us a good question. Okay, 1 through 9. 8.
Seminole 442 Sierra Alpha. Long Beach Tower. Runway 26 strike, clear for takeoff.
Okay.
Take right, close down, report
1
visibility each time.
through 22. 13. 13. There are only 2 questions on here, which means that they're freaking long. Let's see. Okay, so these are ADM questions, but let's see if... Try not to use Google. You're on the honor system. Don't use Google on this. Explain the use of a personal checklist, such as I'm safe, to determine personal risks. So we can just say, like, what are the I am safe acronyms? Does anybody know what the I am safe is acronyms? No, we're totally going to dive bomb, but this is way more. This is way more fun than landing in Santa Barbara. I am safe. Illness, med, stress, alcohol, fatigue, emotion. Illness, medication, stress, alcohol, fatigue, emotions. Did you say stress? You did, yeah. Stress, alcohol, fatigue, emotions. All right, let's aviate, and then we'll come back to this. Last beer was an hour ago. I just did at least 3 lines of Coke. Okay, now let's break most of the regulations that we just read about by banking over 60 degrees and flying through clouds. 4 hours Coke to yoke. Oh my god.
We're full of the Echo, showing you about a north heading now and rapidly losing altitude, please advise.
We're just getting out of the way of a white puffy thing for the Echo.
Yeah, we're full of Echo, you're flying to the flying marshmallows.
That is affirmative. The flying marshmallow got in the way for the Echo.
We're full of Echo, maintain visual separation with the flying marshmallow contact, Santa Barbara approach 120.55.
Alright, 2055, keep it clear of the marshmallows for Lima Echo. Now I have no power. Come on. Come on. Let's go, Carenado. Yeah, it's like dead. Did we kill it? This has happened before and it just like popped on at some point. Probably the maneuvers didn't help. Crap, okay.
442 Sierra Alpha.
Come on.
Tower 26 right.
Yeah, it's happened to me a couple times and it's really annoying. But it's just like...
Destination ATIS is 132.65.
I think, I mean, we could try the pump. Pump's not gonna help. Switch the tanks. It's not gonna help. This is not good. Good thing it's a sim. Oh, there we go. It just like randomly pops on. Whew. Santa Barbara approach, Bonanza 204 Lima Echo 2000. We've got uniform at Santa Barbara.
Lima Echo. Point view approach. Contact Santa Barbara approach 120.55.
Sorry about that. From Echo. Santa Barbara approach. Bonanza 204 Lima Echo 2300 with uniform at Santa Barbara. That was bad. We broke
204 Lima Echo, Santa Barbara.
every
Santa
rule in the
Barbara,
book.
Altimeter 2, Manor 902. Thanks for uniform. Report the airport in sight.
We have the airport in sight for Lima Echo.
November 4 Lima Echo, make straight in for runway 25.
Straight in 25 for Lima Echo. That was hilarious. I would love to replicate that and then see what the fix is, because I like hit a bunch of stuff. I don't know what fixed it, but the last time that I did it, that happened, I didn't do anything except just like pump the throttle, and then all of a sudden it just went like BAM! And started right back up. So I don't know what the hell that's about, but it's exciting. Gonna get your C of A pulled for exceeding V. Oh man, he doesn't, they're too busy to be bothered with a little Bonanza. Busting some clouds. I did the same with the mixture when it happened to me. You just like pumped it in and out and it just like fired up. The mixture is definitely weird on Carenado planes. It's either like really sensitive or doesn't do anything at all. I don't know. It seems like it's probably a fueling thing. Like the RPMs dropped to, it was still turning, so it wasn't 0, but it was definitely at like 5,000 or something. So like real planes will always do something at least, not nothing. Some of these planes just do nothing. Straight into 25. Well, I apologize to all of my FSE passengers. Hope you guys didn't crap yourselves. Is that light on? Yeah, that light was on. Who turned the light on back there? Dude, all these lights are on. What the hell is that? Are these ones on too? That can't be good for the electrics. Ryan got sick. Alright. Well, hopefully he didn't puke in the plane.
Emergency Sierra Alpha. Runway 30. Taxi by Kilo.
That light.
Charlie.
That is why the engine stalled. Pesky friggin' light.
4 Lima Echo, come at Santa Barbara Tower with 9.7.
19.7 4 Lima Echo. 19.7. Santa Barbara Tower, Bonanza 204 Lima Echo, straight in 25.
204 Lima Echo, Santa Barbara Tower, runway 25, clear to land.
Clear to land 25, 204 Lima Echo. Okay, quick little peek. I'm a little off the center line right now, and it's climbing. But we're going to intercept the extended center line here. We got the airport right there. Where are we going? That's the other question. Taxiway. Signature, I think. Okay, so we're going to Signature. If we could be slowed down by Bravo, that will cut a lot of taxi. Crap. Let's see that. Signature is up there on the right-hand side, the little highlighted thing. Imagine getting a clearance to land from tower for a straight in that far out. This is a little far out, but not that far. Went into Burbank today, and they were shoving aircraft way west for 08 approach. Well, they have that TFR for the fire, which we were running into. Are there like deals or discounts for ForeFlight, or am I about to drop $100? You might be about to drop $100. It's worth it, man. Tanner, I don't know if you fly in real life, but it's freaking amazing, and in the sim, it's super fun. And using it in the sim to prepare for using it in the real plane is a super safe way to do it. So you're not learning it in the plane itself. It's so fun. But yeah, even if you're doing it, if you're on PilotEdge, I can't. I mean, maybe VATSIM, but yeah, if you're on PilotEdge, it's freaking awesome. Are you out of Hawthorne, Tanner? Dude, that's awesome. Tanner, sorry, are you in the Discord? Because there's going to be a fly-in. Thank you, Ryan. A real-world fly-in. And so I'm kind of keeping tabs on all the SoCal real-world pilots. See, like, look, the propeller doesn't go. The RPMs don't come back. I'm like full. Something weird there. Alright. Gears coming down. We're freaking high. Orange Yoshi, I don't know yet. It's going to be whenever I finally get the license. He is awesome. I've never used ForeFlight, so I need to practice in the sim. Yeah, it's perfect for practicing in the sim.
1 mile final runway 25.
Well, Rat, it is very easy to use, but trust me, when you're in the real plane, I flew with it in the sim for a long time before using it in the plane, and it made a huge difference because I didn't even think about it being there. I knew exactly where everything was. The minute you start trying to fumble around to find things in the real plane is when you're gonna not pay attention. But yeah, look at that drag, dude. That is awesome.
500.
Hit the brakes. But it's that initial slowdown that it doesn't do. And I talked to Brad about this on Saturday, and he was like, dude, it's so jacked up. The Carenado, whatever they're doing is just like super effed on the RPMs and props and stuff, because you should be able to put the prop full forward and power back, and it will just slow down.
Long Beach Tower, Terminal 4420.
Come on.
Approaching runway 15 left, 33 right.
Got him. Sweet, right on Bravo.
Pull up.
Tanner, thank you very much for following. Welcome aboard, dude. Welcome aboard. Thank you, Ryan. That was pretty nice. Yeah, we are gonna fly out of Santa Barbara. Oh no, in real life, no, I fly out of John Wayne. Tanner, sorry. It's Santa Barbara Tower, 4 Lima Echo. We're clear of 25 on the right side. At Bravo, we're going to Signature.
4 Lima Echo, taxi to the ramp by Bravo.
All right, ramp via Bravo, and we're going to be needing to take a right on Charlie as well.
That's fine.
Thanks, 4 Lima Echo. Get the strobe coming off. Well, I guess we could probably dump these guys off so it doesn't. Like this 3, 2, 1. Finish flight. There it goes.
Beach Tower 70442 Alpha, holding short, runway 30 Lima 2 for right closer.
Hit up the FBO and get our next destination.
Ortiz Sierra Alpha, runway 30, clear for takeoff.
Finally learned how to land this thing. It's just the speed, but I still don't. It's not like the real plane. Like you can't take this and just go fly at the numbers and then hit the power. The A36 Bonanza, you can, and that's actually a good. That's actually a good idea. I'm gonna switch to the A36, and I'll show you the difference between the two. And you can chuck that at the numbers and then just hit the brakes, and it'll stop on a dime. So Tanner, you have to take your written and the check ride. Perfect, dude.
Maintain 5,000. Expect 900,000.
Well, you're not too far behind me, so that timing could be good.
Squawk 7007. Hold for lead.
Well, you can't expect realism at all. It's a simulator, but something a little closer would be nice. Admiral, thank you very much. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Scott 172, Sierra Alpha, reback, crash advised, number 1 for departure district.
Alright, signature, where do you want us to go? On the side here, maybe? That'll make me leave this plane in Santa Barbara. That's actually fine. We'll leave it in Santa Barbara. Okay. So everything turned off here. Did you sump before the flight? Of course I did. Of course I sumped it. Okay. So our F33 is going to stay here. That's not very static elementy, but all right. So the F33 is going to stay here, and we're going to hop into a similar but a little beefier A36. And let's get... We don't need that. That's crazy payload. Let's do something like there. Oh, and we want to be at and over by signature FBO. There we go. Bonanza, start flight. Good. Yeah, no dry or no water in the sump and no sediment. Big size. It's not a large sample size. Today we'll be flying the Beechcraft XA36 King Air Trimotor. 4 wings, 3 motors, 1 crazy plane. That actually looks kind of cool. But it's got a big canard. Okay, let's move this guy up here. A36, here you go. This is going to be a lot different in a lot of ways. It doesn't have the rep pack. 9072. Let's hop on here.
Connected to PilotEdge.
And it's got an Aspen, which I really don't like. So this thing is X-Plane 10 port, so it's kind of goofy. It's got this like weird graphical thing where that just constantly does that. I don't know what that is, but it does that on both sides. So that happens. It's got VGs. That's, you know, A36 club seating, which is amazing. So this is where I read the book. But I just sat right here with my feet out on the forward facing seats, and I just chilled here and read my book. Okay. Make sure, pretty much the same startup procedure. Make sure the parking brake is set. Okay, there's parking brake. Beacon coming on. This thing just turns on automatically, but we can turn it off to pretend. Let's go. Mixture's full rich. Throttle is about half. Fuel pump is on. That down there. And let's start it up. And then the starter switch sticks on the start, so it'll just forever try to start. Okay. Yes, that is right. Clear prop. So we'll get the Aspen booting up. We'll get the Garmin stuff booted up.
Alpha, taxi to ramp via Delta.
We'll get the transponder on.
Taxi to the ramp via
That
Delta.
whole thing is on. Lean this back for right now. Let's go to San Luis Obispo, negative flight following. So we can just bust out of here. Clear that. I actually need to figure out. Where's the? Is it closed? No, it's not closed. Santa Barbara approach. I don't need approach. Tower ground. Departure clearance. Oh, where the frick is the clearance? 32 million.
172 Sierra Papa, still not showing it ident, please.
172 Sierra Papa, yikes. Do we still have the ATIS?
Clear. Temperature 16. Dew point 10. Altimeter 290902. Arriving runway 25. Departing runway 15
which scratch
left,
pad ran?
15 right, 25. Or GPS runway 25 approach in use. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read backhaul runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact that you have information uniform.
So yeah, so this is what happened when I was trying to. I was waiting for a clearance for so long. I just started driving.
Make sure next time you have
Darren Vox, thank you very much for following. Welcome. Yeah, so that's my like exhausted of my tired of waiting guy.
To Sierra Papa, next time make sure you have your transponder turned on prior to departure.
Santa Barbara clearance delivery Bonanza 9072 Sierra VFR departure request. What's up, Darren?
9072 Sierra Center clearance go.
Hey, clearance 9072 Sierra. We'd like VFR departure to the northwest, negative flight following beyond the surface ring.
902 Sierra Takeoff.
At Santa Barbara clearance 9072 Sierra, we're a BE-36 slant Gulf. We'd like a VFR departure to the northwest with negative flight following beyond the surface ring. It's going to be like runway heading something.
For 2 Sierra IMR cancellation received. Also, next time, make sure you have your transponder turned on prior to departure. For 9072 Sierra after departure, fly runway heading, maintain VFR below 1,500, departure 120.55, squawk 3442.
Okay, that's runway heading at or below 1,500 feet, departure frequency 2055, squawk 3442, 9072 Sierra.
72 Sierra, back correct.
Main clearance delivery, Cessna 380 Sierra Papa, type Cessna 172, flight call, request flight following to Fullerton with
ground point 7.
Departure, and we'll maintain 3000. This is for the Cat 9.
7.
For 380 Sierra Papa, bank clearance after departure, show on course.
Yeah, this is
Southeast now, maintain VFR below 2,500. Departure
usually if you say negative flight following,
134.2, squawk
they'll give you
2237.
the departure frequency will be the tower. Is how they usually do that, but this is fine too.
We'll depart southeastward, maintain VFR at or below 2500, contact 134.2, and we'll squawk 2237, Cessna 380 Sierra Papa.
For 0 Sierra Papa, are you back correct?
Santa Barbara ground, good evening, Bonanza 9072 Sierra Atlantic taxi, negative run-up.
For 9072 Sierra ground runway 25, taxi by Juliet.
Juliet 25, 9072 Sierra. What plane you in? Oh, yes. Hang on, sorry. Yeah, 172. Am I doing this right? Yeah, okay, I'm going to the right. There we go. There's Juliet. I started in a Piper Archer and then moved to a 172. Friggin' low wing mafia, dude. Luckily, I get the low wing fix
Burbank ground, Cessna
in the
380
Bonanza.
Sierra Papa is ready to taxi with information Papa.
Satabria to a 150 to an SR20. That is quite the progression. That is quite the progression, Tanner.
0 Sierra Papa, rank around. Runway 8, taxi by Charlie.
Runway 8, taxi via Charlie, 380 Sierra Papa.
Yeah, that is really funny. That's Satabria, huh? That's pretty funny. So this is to demo the brokenness of the F33 propeller situation. Let's actually confirm that we want... He said Juliet, so let's do what he said. This is somewhat run-up area. Okay, and we're oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's another tweak out thing. That's fun. 2055. 2055 is our departure frequency. Which will get rid of that pretty quickly. Santa Barbara Tower, Bonanza 9072 Sierra, holding short 25 at Juliet.
Sure, 72 Sierra, center over tower, runway 25, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 2572 Sierra. Lights, camera, action. What views do I have here? Oh, GoPro view. Okay, you guys ready?
Approaching runway
For
25.
some
Entered
hot
runway
A36
25.
action.
6,000 feet remaining.
Okay, rolling on. 225. Punch it, Chewy. Everything's green. Airspeed is alive. Alright, positive rate.
Louis Tower, November 767, copy X-ray,
Okay,
VFR
coming up.
request.
We gotta be at or below 1500. Did I get the altimeter set?
For 767, copy X-ray, go ahead. Yes, the
close
767 copy X-ray.
Whoa, no, it's not.
72 link off. I'd like to go down to Santa Barbara. Can you coordinate radar services for me?
Yeah, close enough.
For 767, copy X-ray, departure frequency. Okay, departure frequency 12055, squawk 5567, 767 pop X-ray. This guy, pop X-ray back correct.
There's a bunch of them at John Wayne. They look
Contact, departure.
freaking sweet. Departure 720.
Local approach.
That's cool, Yoshi. Did you do any aerobatics in it?
Airport requesting IFR clearance for Southern California Logistics for the I-11 rating.
720, center over departure. Cancel altitude.
On the last lesson, that's awesome. Okay, canceling altitude restriction 720.
Pull up. Pull up.
720, doing navigation.
Oh, nav 720. Agent Apex, thank you for following. Welcome aboard. Okay, so one of the things I don't like about this plane is that you cannot see any of the dials because they're friggin' minuscule. So let's pull the props back and let's start turning to San Luis Obispo. Pull out here.
Alright, last I got on the landline. 172 Sierra Papa, did you call for clearance?
Yes, 170 Sierra Papa on the ground at Corona requesting.
That's not a bad idea, Tanner, and I am open for suggestions because
For 2 Sierra Papa, you're on request, stand by.
this is a really good problem to have, but we might have a bunch of planes, like as many as,
For 767 Papa,
excuse me, as many as 20, which is freaking crazy. 20 planes
For 30 Sierra Papa, did you call?
to a fly-in. So it's gonna need to be a combination of easy to get to for folks out of Santa Barbara or San Diego. Something that has ramp space for 20 freaking airplanes, and food with space for 20 airplanes worth of people.
Clear to the Victorville.
Ryan, isn't that freaking crazy?
Airport as filed.
And that, I mean, the likeliness that 20 airplanes will actually show up is pretty low, but still,
For 2 Sierra Papa, back correct. Advise number 1 for departure. That's your
still not bad.
Cessna Skyhawk 204. Fuck.
Oh, hey, Kenny. Let's go direct to. I mean, dude, even if half of that number of planes showed up, it'd be freaking sweet. I said that because I've never been, and I'm 275 an hour. Yeah, I don't know. It might be... Dude, yeah, 10 planes is a lot. 5 planes is a lot. If there were 5 airplanes, that would be a lot. And I could almost guarantee, like, 7 of them, I think I counted 7 were pretty much guaranteed. And then there was like, well, I know a guy, you know, like it was just kind of like, he'd want to go, this guy will probably want to go, this guy's definitely going to go. And then we're just like, freaking 20 airplanes, oh my god. Because originally Camarillo was the spot, but they don't have the space, and the restaurant would be a nightmare to get that many people in there. So something like, yeah, like Big Bear, I mean, Tahoe and Havasu are way too far. But something like Big Bear could work. Something local in the basin could work, like Flaybob or Bracket, something like that. You know Brad pretty well, IRL? Dude, that's freaking awesome. Just from flying around?
0, sure about negative, radar contact. Or 72C radar service, terminated squawk, maintain VFR change advisory.
Alright, squawk and VFR change into advisory 9072 Sierra CM. Cool, I guess. I don't know. Or not. Oh, don't know him well, or don't know him IRL. I watched his stream a bunch, and I have talked to him a bunch on Instagram. Okay, got it. That's cool. Let's see if this autopilot will work, if I remember even how it does work. Let's do altitude, heading, yaw damper, and then I need
We're 76M Papa X-ray. Send those tower right down clear for takeoff.
that way, I think. Let's go that direction.
0 Sierra Papa Canada departure.
We're gonna go while this thing figures itself out.
Over 380 Sierra Papa Canada departure.
VFR. Brad streamed like a long time ago. Yeah, he hasn't in a long time.
2500, approximately 5 miles.
Okay, we're just going to cruise along here at... We'll come down to 4500.
380 Sierra Papa, Sitka departure. Cancel altitude restrictions, no navigation.
Resume all navigation, Tesla 380 Sierra Papa.
This stupid thing works. We're fine here. This is good. This is good. Now Brad's just been flying like crazy.
Feature 1 departure, Palm Springs has filed, maintain 7,000, expect
So
1,000, 5 minutes after departure, departure frequency 126.
Which is why I think he, one of the reasons why he likes just hanging out in the chat, because he can still get the Twitch fix and not have to actually do the streaming. That should be a good
Feature 1 departure, Palm Springs
heading
has
right
filed.
there. And while we're en route here to demo the high-speed approach,
Sierra back credit.
what is this? 20.6.
Approach Cessna 172 Sierra Papa was flying IFR for the I-11 rating when the simulator crashed. Should I refile the plan?
So now we're just on tower.
Two Sierra Papa, negative, just release for departure, clearance 4 to 5 minutes, call me airport, please.
Brandon, are you here? Are you hanging out in the chat? As soon as you hear 172 Sierra Papa, you're just like, oh my god, here we go. Okay. Back to the book. Back to the oral exam guide. Actually, I'm gonna lean this thing out a little bit.
John Wayne Ground, November 604, Mike Bravo. IFR for Phoenix Sky Harbor.
See, this is a little bit better. We're cruising along at 170. It's my strong arm. John, happy Monday.
TV
All right,
604,
here we go.
Bravo, John Wayne clearance. Have a bring out for you. Clear to Phoenix Airport.
There.
Muscle late departure. Thermal transition. Direct description of thermal transition J169 as filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect flight level T30 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 7451.
What purpose do fuel tank vents have?
Okay, clear to Phoenix, the muscle 8, thermal transition at J169, and then as followed. Altitude 5,000, expect 3,000 after 5 minutes. 128.1
Fuel
for the
tank
frequency,
vents.
and transponder 7451.
Yeah, that is a good question, Yoshi.
My Bravo back, correct. Percent Papa X-ray kind of departure. 767 Papa X-ray over to departure.
Hey, Max, happy Monday. Let's close those down. Burn that mustache over here, buddy.
Caution Federal departure, radar contact.
Okay, why? Purpose of fuel vents. B7, what's happening? Yeah, Kenny, I'm not sure if that's what it's going for. Thought that it does look a lot like Thompson.
Whoa, buddy.
Ryan, thank you very much for the gifted sub to Agent B7. 14 gifted subs. Ryan, thank you so much, dude. Okay, here is the question again. What purpose do fuel tank vents have? Fuel tank vents.
For T strap a second departure ident.
Yeah, that is super nice, Ryan.
For T strap radar contact, climb maintain 9,000 on
Yoshi, I'm assuming you know it, right? Yeah. Bro, that sounds like you Googled it, but that is correct. 747 Forever, my guess was something to do with pressure relief. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, B7, I watched a little bit of that. It sounded, the codec sounds good. But yeah, so as the fuel drains, it's to prevent the suction. What do they call it? Vacuum. It's to prevent the preventing a vacuum from the depleted fuel. So that is cool. You have to check vents frequently? Okay. I did not mean to assume that you Googled that. That just was, I mean, if anything, it was a compliment, because that was a very intelligent answer that sounded like you Googled that shit, but, so that's good. Your wing turns into crumpled up foil. Well, probably not, because I think they're bladders. Are they not bladders? I think some of them are bladders, maybe. This is... Only some planes have bladders. Yeah. Ashman, this is the latest full release version of X-Plane, yes. This isn't the beta. That beta doesn't work. At all. I hate being a responsible pilot. I would rather just fly. No, it's good. Thank you, Ro, for being a responsible pilot. But the wing won't crumple. Your engine will get fuel starved before the wing crumbles. No. The beta works. The beta works if what you're looking for is 5 hours of a plane crumple.
For 0 Sierra Papa, report the airport.
Oh, man, okay. 25 miles out. So that was a good one. I kind of thought that was going to keep rolling. I thought that was going to be a little bit easier than it ended up being. That was the Limp Bizkit day. Yeah, that was the beta. That was testing the beta. It was Limp Bizkit. Okay. All right, now we'll do this again. Somebody pick a number between 1 and 9. And it's the first one I see, 1 and 9. 8. Okay. I think we've had an 8. So now I need a number between... something between 1 and 20. Ah, 1. Okay. Alright, some of these are kind of easy. Oh, this is actually a good one. How can hypoxia be avoided? How can hypoxia be avoided? Bring oxygen. Okay. Don't fly so high. I like that. Stay low, breathe O2. Okay. Good breathing. All right, so that's pretty. Those are pretty good answers. So hypoxia is prevented by heating factors that reduce tolerance to altitude by enriching the inspired air with oxygen from an appropriate oxygen system, and by maintaining a comfortable, safe cabin pressure altitude. For optimum protection, pilots are encouraged to use the supplemental oxygen above 10,000 feet during the day and above 5,000 feet at night. Now, if you were an examiner, and Yoshi, you, knowing your level, you will probably agree with this. If you were an examiner and
Destination
you asked
ATIS is
a candidate,
120.
hey, so how can you avoid hypoxia? And they said that, I think you would get a fail for being like a nutcase. One at a time, not how to build the watch. Listen, this is by enriching the inspired air with oxygen from an appropriate oxygen system. Heating, hypoxia is prevented by heating the factors that reduce tolerance to altitude. Worst answer ever. Yeah, that is. You wouldn't fail immediately. What would happen is the DPE would know you were quoting that book, and all his questions would suddenly not be in that book. Oh my god. You need to heed an enriched level of oxygen.
6 miles north.
Like,
At
dude.
2,800.
Just the fact that they have that written down is kind of
A good pilot is always learning.
But that is true, Kitty.
30 Papa Fulton Tower, wind.
Yeah, that's really fun.
260 and a right base, runway 24, clear to land.
And a right base, runway 24, clear to land. System 300, Papa.
Okay, this is going to be what I was talking about with the high-speed approach into an airport. Who remembers what we had as our ATIS? This is what happens when you take autopilot. ATIS. No, John, I have not tabbed out the far aim stuff. Alpha. Sweet. San Luis Obispo Tower, Bonanza 9072 Sierra, 5,000 feet with information Alpha. That was terrible. That was terrible.
9072 Sierra. San Luis Tower, make straight in runway 29, report 3 mile final.
Straight in, 29 reporting 3 miles out to 9072 Sierra. He totally let me off the hook on that one. That was a terrible. That was terrible.
That was beautiful. Nice radio call, Bill.
Frick.
John Wayne ground, November 604, Mike Bravo, at West Parking.
Okay, so this is a pretty good 10-mile final here. It's a sim. Definitely do when you get a chance. It helps if you need to look something up quick during the oral. Also, you read through it so you won't have to use it as much during the oral. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, I got to tab up the far aim. I've got to tab up the maintenance and
John Wayne ground,
all
November
that crap.
604, Mike Bravo, at the West Parking, ready to taxi. Information, Juliet.
Keep in for Mike Bravo, runway 20, right, taxi by Bravo Lima.
20 right via Bravo and Lima.
You can tab
November
that,
604,
yeah.
Mike Bravo.
You can bookmark it. You can highlight. So there is the runway. Do you see it? There's San Luis Obispo. So I am going to be at full speed probably until that little road right there. And we'll get it slowed down.
Palm Springs, be around Mooney 153, Mike 0, which are on the ready taxi.
I tabbed my flying for a CFI check right about halfway through the oral. The DP asked me a question. I said, actually, let me check to make sure real quick. I pulled out the book, set on the table. The DP just said, all right, let's move on to the next question. That's awesome, Yoshi. That is really funny. It's pretty clear so far what the important sections that I need to really tab. It's really just 2, which I know is like I will tab a lot more, but I feel like if you have 91.205 and 91.213 like ready to go, then you'll probably be okay. Okay, so there's red line. That's probably a little bit too fast.
Roger.
Okay, so we're really high and really fast, and this is kind of like a dramatic example of this. Let's see if it'll actually do it. Okay. 205 and 213.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Sync rate. Sync rate. This is drag. This is drag. Oh crap! You know what?
30 Sierra Papa, taxi to parking, straight ahead.
We would have totally made it.
Taxi parking, straight ahead, 30 Sierra Papa.
Task the Cat 9.
Thanks.
I didn't call. San Luis Tower, Bonanza 9072 Sierra. We forgot to call you at 3 miles out. We're going around.
72 Sierra, make left traffic for midfield 29.
Alright, left traffic reported midfield 72 Sierra. So somehow it would have still made it, but I did not have clearance to land. And I remembered that as the threshold. Yikes. Looks so much more realistic though, didn't it? It's so much better. And that, I mean, that is one of the few things that this plane does. This plane, meaning the Carenado A36, is it when you pull the props full forward, pull the RPM or pull the throttle back, throw the gear, it slows down from 170 to 80 knots real quick. Yeah, but by the time I realized that it was like I had to go around first. Okay, but I'm gonna get really high and see if I can get that speed up again. San Luis Tower, 72 Sierra, midfield, 29er. Oh, IRL, yeah. Well, in IRL I wouldn't be...
72 Sierra, 29, clear to land.
Clear land, 29, 72 Sierra. Yeah, IRL I wouldn't be doing 200 knots on short final because it came up really quick going downhill. This could work too right here.
John Wayne Tower, November 6th.
So this is 2,000 feet.
Ready for takeoff, 20 right.
Pretty close. So let's get the speed coming up.
For Mike Bravo, John Wayne Tower with 20 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff for Mike Bravo.
Okay, so now the speed, there's 160, runway's right there, power back, props full forward, gear coming down. And that was a little bit floatier. That's 170 at the threshold, and you get it stopped. Where are we off at here? There we go. San Luis Tower 9072 Sierra, clear 29er at Charlie, taxiing to ACI. This plane is actually kind of cool. It's not as bad. There's a couple of weird things with it that I don't like, but... San Luis Tower, Bonanza 9072 Sierra, clear 29er at Charlie, taxiing to ACI.
Sierra, taxi parking by Alpha.
Parking Alpha 72 Sierra.
1980, cleared to Victorville Airport as filed. Maintain 9,000. Departure frequency 135.4. Squawk 7116.
That's not right. I can see why you don't like the Aspen. Nearly impossible to see on that model. Yeah, it's really bad. Oh, you remember me telling you that, Yoshi? Yeah, it's like...
Roger.
It's fine. Like the
correct.
the real world one is fine.
You have to do that if you meet the criteria.
This stuff, the
listed on
feet per
procedure.
minute is really
Advise
tough to
number one
see
for departure this
numerically, and this is kind of obscured. So if you're in a sim with like a even moderate sized screen, you can't see any of that stuff. So you really have to, you know, if you've got a second screen, have this up. That would help to have that pulled out, but otherwise you're just like freaking screwed. Yeah. And I don't think it's really I mean, it's the right scale, but just in a simulator, there's no... It's just the pixels are freaking tiny. Like, you'd have to have it so everything was everything was to scale. Runway just as hard to see as the Aspen in this plane. The way I'm flying it. Or taxing it. Okay. Okay, so 2 Bonanzas in a row on PilotEdge. That's where I'm going to stop the YouTube stuff there. That's a little bit goofball. B7, have a great one. I kind of want to go over a few more of these. Let's see. All right, cheers then. If you're not going anywhere, then cheers. It is beer o'clock. Okay, let's do another one here. This is I really like this book a lot. Let's see. I'm trying to find like a good kind of quick one. 4 forces. Let's see. Weather. We haven't done any weather ones. The weather section was actually very short. There's one question that was kind of interesting. Let's see here. Oh, okay. This one I did not get when I first read it. What causes the winds aloft to flow parallel to the isobars? Yoshi and below minimums, I know, probably know this. Yeah. The Coriolis force. Spinny stuff. Okay. Why do surface winds generally flow across the isobars at an angle? Surface friction is correct. Okay. In areas other than congested areas, what minimum safe altitudes shall be used? Don't say anything below minimums. So other than congested areas, what is the minimum safe altitude? An altitude that is safe. Yeah. Because this one is... It's very... I don't want to say vague, because it's not vague, but there's some interpretation in there. Somewhat, Ryan, somewhat. So it's not necessarily just buildings, but and it's 500 feet from. But the way that this beautifully written answer is written, it says, except when necessary for takeoff or landing, an aircraft shall be oriented no lower than 500 feet above the surface. So that's pretty, should not be 500 feet above the surface. That's easy to understand. Except over open water or sparsely populated areas. In those cases, the vessel may not be operated closer than 500 feet to any person, vessel, vehicle, or structure. So, yeah, John, 500, but also high enough to get to an emergency landing spot. It's a very vague rule because the question, and this is weird, because the question says in areas other than congested areas. So what is the opposite of a congested area? I would say a sparsely to no populated area. I thought Trent got busted for reckless. I think is what it was, wasn't it? Because he was not at a safe altitude for landing. I thought it was because somebody was in the plane with him. Yeah, it was because somebody was with him. Reckless water skiing with the passenger. Because according to this, I think this is the regulation that he was citing as kind of like, well, like it says on here, that you can, because it says open water, except over surface and open water, and it says that you can be below 500 feet over open water or sparsely populated areas. And in those cases, the aircraft may not be operated closer than 500 feet to any person, vessel, vehicle, or structure. So he was 500 feet away from any person, vessel, vehicle, or structure. He was over open water. The rule doesn't say you have to make an emergency landing. The rule says you have to make a landing without harming people or property on the ground. I thought I remember him saying that it was because he was not at a safe altitude for emergency landing. I think one of the things that they were trying to argue with that is that because the type of flying that they do, that being close, I guess that doesn't apply for that one because he was doing it not as an approach. Because the guys that come in that like drag their they water ski as an approach to a sandbar to shallow the approach. If you're water skiing away from people, you won't hurt anyone else if your engine fails. Yeah, and I think that's why he was pretty upset about it, because according to the regulations, there really wasn't anything that he did wrong. But the FAA, I think, argued that because he had a passenger, that it constituted as being reckless. But that's why that one is very interesting, even though it sounds like it's a pretty clear cut. Like, okay, well, if it's not congested, if it's not congested and you have to be above 1,000 feet, it's 500. But really, it's not 500 if you're clear of anybody. Then in that case, you could be under 500, and that would kind of negate what he was told. So you should be 500 feet away from passengers. Yeah, pretty much. Live Fly Guy, happy Monday. Hello. He said that he only got caught because the FAA had to be at... one, he's filming the stuff. But yeah, there was an FAA employee that was on the side of the lake. But I think in all this stuff, you only get caught if the FAA is there. Passenger can be 500 feet away if you don't like them. But that regulation does have a lot of room for interpretation, which is weird. Because it seems like it really, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's to protect, I would imagine that a lot of that is to protect situations like guys that are flying, bush backcountry guys, crop dusting guys as well. I mean, you have to be within 500 feet to do that stuff as well. But there also might be some special permits for that as well. The FAA leaves it open as a catch-all to hit people doing stupid stuff, because the FAA said even a single person counts as not sparsely populated in specific areas. That makes sense. Like if you just have, if you have a rule that's specifically vague so you can use it when it's necessary because of, like if someone's honestly doing something that's like not, and it could be risky, but not dangerous, not showboaty, for a purpose maybe. That's one thing. But if you're doing something like reckless for a video or for, a showing off or something, they want to be able to have something to catch you on. Okay, so what is the minimum safe altitude that an aircraft may be operated over a congested area of a city? So this is just the one question above, obviously. And this is a little bit more cut and dry, I guess. So, except when necessary for takeoff or landing, no person may operate an aircraft over a congested area of a city, town, or settlement, or over any open air assembly of persons below an altitude of 1,000 feet above the height obstacle within a horizontal radius of 2,000 feet of the aircraft. Yeah, 1,000 over the highest obstacle within 2,000 horizontally. So that's a little bit more clear cut. If there's a building, if your chart shows yellow, basically, 1,000 feet above within 2,000 feet horizontally. So that's interesting. Man, every single one of these questions is super interesting. And I hope once I get past this check ride, I'll have some reason to go back to some of these questions, because I mean, a lot of you are way more experienced than I am, and it seems like it's pretty easy to be engaged in some of these. Is it okay to buzz the tower on an approach? Oh, so it's okay to buzz the tower. Only if the pattern isn't full. That is very true.